There was a time when silence was ordinary, when mornings began not with the notifications, but with the sound of your own breath, when the world felt bigger because your attention wasn't trapped inside a glowing rectangle. But now, silence feels suspicious. Moments without noise feel incomplete. We reach for our phones without thinking, scroll through lives that are not ours, and call it connection, when what we really crave is calm. Every ping, every flash, every vibration, and one promises something new yet delivers nothing lasting. We've built a world that feeds on our focus, a world that measures our worth in clicks, hearts, and seconds watched. And without realizing it, we've traded the stillness of our minds for the stimulation of our screens. Think about the last time you sat alone, with no background music, no scrolling, no checking who viewed your story or liked your post, just you and your thoughts. Can you remember what that even feels like? For many, the silence feels foreign, now almost uncomfortable, because when the noise stops, the truth gets loud. We begin to notice what we've ignored: our fatigue, our disconnection, our quiet longing for something real. This book is an invitation not to abandon technology, but to reclaim your sovereignty over it, to rediscover the power of your own attention, to learn again what it means to be present, not available. Because your focus is not free. Every time you surrender it to distraction, you weaken the muscle of awareness, the very thing that builds greatness, peace, and purpose. In this journey, we will step out of the fog of constant connection and walk back into the light of clarity. We will talk about the science of attention, the emotional cost of overstimulation, and the quiet beauty of a mind at rest. By the end of this book, you won't just want to detox from your devices, you'll crave the stillness you once feared. So take a breath, put your phone on silent, and listen. This is your digital detox, your moment to reclaim what the noise has stolen your attention and your focus. Chapter 1. The hijacking of attention. Your attention is your most valuable currency. It decides what you see, what you think, and ultimately, who you become. Yet, in the modern world, your attention is no longer yours. It has been studied, measured, predicted, and monetized. Entire industries exist to keep your mind hooked, not informed. To keep you scrolling, not learning. To make you feel connected, yet constantly incomplete. Every app, every platform, every ping is part of a silent competition for the only thing you can never multiply: your focus. There's a reason you reach for your phone before you even know why. It's not weakness, it's design. Psychologists call it variable reward. Every time you refresh, every time you scroll, your brain expects something new: a message, a like, a laugh, a spark. Most times, you get nothing. But sometimes, you do. And that sometimes is powerful enough to keep you coming back. It's the same principle that fuels casinos. Uncertainty drives addiction. But unlike a slot machine, your phone doesn't just take your money, it takes your mind space. It fills every quiet gap with noise. It replaces curiosity with consumption. And over time, you forget how to simply be. The truth is, you don't own your attention anymore. You lease it in microseconds to whatever demands it loudest. And the cost? Your ability to think deeply, to focus long enough to create, to listen, not to content, but to yourself. You used to read books. Now, you skim captions. You used to call friends. Now you reply with emojis. You used to dream. Now you scroll through someone else's highlight reel. We've mistaken information for insight and stimulation for satisfaction. But awareness is the first act of rebellion. Once you see the strings, you can start cutting them. In this chapter, I want you to notice. Notice how often your hand moves to your device without command. Notice how you open an app just for a second and lose 20 minutes. Notice how your attention feels fractured, restless, hungry. And know this, none of it is by accident. Your attention has been hijacked, but that means it can also be reclaimed. In the next chapter, we'll talk about what this constant connection costs us, not in data, but in depth. The unseen price we pay when every moment is shared, but none of it is lived. For now, be still. Watch yourself reach for the noise and pause. That pause is the first step back to freedom. Chapter 2. The Cost of Constant Connection. We live in an age of constant connection, but feel more disconnected than ever. We speak in instant messages, yet forget how to hold a real conversation. We share everything, our meals, our thoughts, our faces, but somehow we've lost touch with ourselves. Soft pause, a subtle sigh in the voice. Every time you wake up and reach for your phone before your thoughts, you're handing the world permission to shape your mood. You scroll through headlines that steal your peace, feeds that spark comparison, and opinions that drown out your intuition. You call it staying updated, but what you're really doing is outsourcing your emotions. We are wired to connect, but not like this. Human connection was never meant to be filtered, scheduled, and compressed into 24-hour stories. We used to look people in the eyes. Now we stare at tiny screens, hoping someone, somewhere, will double-tap our existence. And yet, even surrounded by constant noise, most people feel quietly alone. Voice softens to a whisper of empathy. That's the unseen cost of constant connection. It's not the data you lose, it's the depth of focus, the depth of thought, the depth of human experience. We've built a life of interruption where solitude feels like punishment and reflection feels like waste. But think about this. If you're never alone with your thoughts, how will you ever know what they truly are? Your mind is a room filled with light, but every notification pulls another curtain shut. Eventually, you're left in dimness, mistaking shadows for clarity. Every constant connection takes a small piece of you, your presence, your patience, your peace, until one day, you can't even rest without reaching for something. A phone, a sound, a scroll, anything to fill the silence. But here's the truth most people avoid. It's not the silence you fear. It's what silence reveals. It reveals how tired you are, how anxious you've become, how little time you've spent simply being. This chapter isn't meant to shame you. It's meant to wake you, because awareness hurts at first, but it's the kind of pain that heals. The next time you feel that itch to check your phone, pause. Let the silence linger. Feel the discomfort, then breathe through it. That's the sound of your mind coming home to itself. We'll continue from here into the quiet places the world forgets to visit, because in the next chapter, you'll learn that silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. Chapter 3. Silence as a superpower. Silence. It's one of the rarest sounds left in the modern world. We avoid it. We fear it. We fill it with noise, as if quiet itself could expose us. But silence is not the enemy. Silence is a mirror. A faint breath. The voice slows. In silence, you begin to see what you've been running from. Your thoughts, your emotions, your truth. And though it's uncomfortable at first, it's within that quiet that transformation begins. Soft piano melody joins, like a heartbeat. Think of your mind as a lake. When it's stormed with noise, the water is restless. You can't see beneath the surface. But when the storm fades, when the surface stills, you finally see what lies beneath. That stillness, that moment of pure presence, is where wisdom lives. Some of the world's most remarkable minds, the artists, inventors, philosophers, they all had one thing in common. They learned to listen to silence. Because in silence, inspiration whispers. In silence, your intuition, that quiet knowing, finally has a voice. And in silence, you reconnect with the only person you've been too busy to meet, yourself. We spend our days absorbing other people's noise, opinions, feeds, trends, reactions, all of it flooding our attention until we can't tell which thoughts are ours anymore. But silence gives you back your authorship. It's the reset button for your soul. Start small. 5 minutes in the morning. No music, no phone, just you and the sound of the world waking up. You'll resist it at first. Your mind will wander. You'll want to reach for something, anything. That's okay. That's withdrawal. Every addiction begins with dependency, and silence is how you detox your mind. With time, those moments will expand. 5 minutes becomes 10, 10 becomes 30, and soon, you'll start craving quiet more than chaos. You'll start realizing how powerful a still mind can be, how decisions become clearer, how emotions settle faster, how peace begins to flow naturally. Because silence is not a void, it's a vessel. It carries your strength, your creativity, your focus. So when the world feels heavy, when the screens are too loud, and your thoughts are scattered, step back, turn everything off, close your eyes, and listen not to the noise outside, but to the quiet within. That quiet is your power, and that power is who you've always been. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to take that silence and build something lasting, to turn peace into progress and clarity into creation. Chapter 4: Rebuilding Focus. Brick by brick. Once you've stepped out of the noise, you start to see how fragile your focus has become. Try to sit still, and your mind races. Try to read, and you check your phone before finishing a page. Try to think deeply, and your thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind. This is not failure. It's proof of how deeply distraction has trained your mind. But just as your attention was weakened by habit, it can be rebuilt the same way, one deliberate moment at a time. Focus is a muscle, and every time you resist the pull of distraction, you strengthen it. The problem is, most people try to rebuild focus by force, cutting everything off at once, expecting instant calm in a mind that's been overstimulated for years. But focus doesn't return through pressure. It returns through presence. Imagine building a wall brick by brick. Each brick is a moment of awareness. Every time you finish a task without checking your phone, one brick. Every time you sit with discomfort instead of escaping it, another brick. Every time you choose reflection over reaction, you're laying the foundation of a stronger mind. Start small. Commit to 10 minutes of single tasking each day. No switching tabs, no notifications, no music, just one task, one breath, one focus. You'll struggle at first. Your brain will itch for stimulation, but that resistance, that's growth. Over time, you'll notice something. You'll begin to find rhythm in your thoughts again. The fog lifts. Ideas flow smoother. You'll feel yourself reclaiming time not by doing more, but by being here. That's what Digital Detox is really about. It's not about running from technology. It's about returning to mastery, making your tools serve you, not the other way around. When you regain focus, you regain choice. You can choose where your attention goes. You can choose what matters. You can choose when to act and when to rest. And in a world built on noise, that choice is the highest form of freedom. So be patient with yourself. Progress doesn't happen in grand moments. It happens in small victories, the days you stay mindful, the nights you choose peace over scrolling, the moments you pause before reacting. Each one is a brick. Each one builds your power. Because the truth is, you don't need more time. You need more focus. And once you learn to protect it, time itself begins to bend in your favor. In the next chapter, we'll explore a secret few people ever master: how to stop chasing every opportunity and start finding joy in what you don't do. We'll talk about the beauty of missing out and how peace begins the moment you stop trying to be everywhere at once. Chapter 5: The Joy of Missing Out. There's a strange relief in realizing you don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to chase what everyone else is chasing. In fact, the greatest peace comes not from adding more to your life, but from subtracting what doesn't serve your soul. We live in an age where missing out feels like failure. A new post, a new trend, a new opportunity, and we rush to keep up, afraid of being left behind. But here's the truth. Every time you say yes to everything, you quietly say no to yourself. The joy of missing out is not apathy, it's awareness. It's choosing to step away from the noise so you can hear your own voice again. When you stop trying to fill every space, you start to feel every moment. You begin to notice how the air feels on your skin. You start to hear the rhythm in silence. You rediscover life's quiet details, the things that used to make you feel alive before the world convinced you to scroll past them. Missing out is not losing. It's winning back your time. It's reclaiming your peace. It's remembering that your worth isn't measured by motion. The world moves fast, too fast sometimes, but the soul moves slow. And when you slow down to meet it, you realize that life isn't passing you by. You were just moving too quickly to see it. Let others chase noise. Let others measure success in numbers, likes, and applause. Your peace is sacred. Guard it. Because when you stop chasing everything, you finally have the space to receive what's meant for you. Missing out becomes a gift, an open hand, a quiet mind, a heart that's no longer frantic for validation. And in that space, creativity returns, energy returns, joy returns. You realize that life was never about doing more. It was always about being more aware, more present, more at peace. In the next chapter, we'll explore something most people overlook: how to protect your digital peace, how to set healthy boundaries that keep you balanced, focused, and fulfilled in a world that's constantly reaching for your attention. Because once you've found peace, the next step is learning how to keep it. Chapter 6. Digital Boundaries. Protecting your inner peace. Peace is not a destination. It's a discipline. It's not something you find once and keep forever. It's something you protect moment by moment, decision by decision. The world will always reach for your attention. Every app, every notification, every platform was designed to keep you hooked, to make you believe that silence means you're missing something. But here's the truth few people realize. Your phone is not the enemy. Your habits are. Technology doesn't steal your peace. Your lack of boundaries does. When you create boundaries, you reclaim control. You begin to teach your mind what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Start simple. Decide when your day begins and who gets to enter it. If the first thing you see each morning is a screen, you've already surrendered your focus before sunrise. Try this instead. Wake up and meet yourself first. Breathe. Stretch. Say something kind to your reflection. Let silence speak before the world does. Next, choose your sacred hours, the times when your phone is off and your presence is on. No texts, no scrolling, no half attention, because attention divided is peace denied. Set boundaries not just with others, but with yourself. Ask, do I need to see this right now? Is this adding to my growth or draining my focus? Boundaries are not walls. They're filters. They don't keep life out. They keep your clarity in. You see, when you build digital boundaries, you're not just protecting your time. You're protecting your mindset. You're giving your brain the chance to breathe, to think deeply, to feel again. Because creativity doesn't come from constant consumption, it comes from stillness. Peace is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It appears quietly when distractions disappear. So, as you move through this journey, remember, you owe no one your constant availability. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Spend it where it matters. Every no you say to noise is a yes to your peace. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into what happens after the detox. How to rebuild your life in a way that nurtures focus, purpose, and balance. Because a detox clears the mind, but discipline shapes the future. Chapter 7. Rebuilding Focus. The discipline of a clear mind. Clarity is power. And once you've cleared the noise, what comes next is creation. Focus is not about working harder. It's about working with intention. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Most people don't lose focus because they lack discipline. They lose focus because they lack direction. They wake up reacting, not creating. They chase urgency instead of purpose. But you're not here to react anymore. You're here to rebuild. To rebuild focus, start with clarity. Ask yourself, what do I truly want my attention to serve? Because whatever you feed your attention to grows. If you give it to comparison, envy grows. If you give it to noise, confusion grows. But if you give it to vision, focus sharpens. Here's the secret about focus. It's not found, it's trained. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, it strengthens with use and weakens with neglect. So build rituals, not reactions. Choose habits that prime your mind before your day begins. Silence before screens. Journaling before scrolling. Presence before productivity. Create a focus zone. A place where your mind knows it's time to build, not browse. Where your phone is out of reach and your dreams are within reach. Even 20 minutes of deep, undistracted focus is more powerful than 2 hours of fragmented attention. And when your mind starts to wander, which it will, don't fight it. Gently bring it back. That's how focus grows, through redirection, not resistance. Focus is a choice, a daily commitment to depth over distraction. Every time you choose one meaningful thing over 10 shallow ones, you reclaim a piece of your potential. Soft string crescendo, calm but motivational. And soon, you'll notice something powerful. You start finishing what you start. Your thoughts feel sharper. Your presence feels lighter. You start becoming the kind of person who moves with clarity, not noise. That's what true focus does. It clears the fog. It anchors your energy. It turns time into transformation. Voice lowers, slow, final. So, protect it, feed it, train it. Because a clear mind doesn't just change how you work, it changes who you are. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to sustain this new state of awareness, how to live with balance in a world that never stops moving, and how to make peace your permanent rhythm. Chapter 8. Sustaining the balance. Living in a fast world without losing yourself. The world won't slow down for you, but you can slow within it. Balance isn't about controlling life. It's about flowing through it rooted, steady, and aware. After a digital detox, many people feel light again. For a while, then the noise creeps back and notifications return, habits resurface, and suddenly, the peace you worked so hard to find starts slipping away. So how do you sustain it? How do you live in a world that never sleeps without losing your stillness? The answer is rhythm. You must build a rhythm for your mind, a flow between on and off, between doing and being. Technology will always evolve. Platforms will rise and fade. But your rhythm, that's your power. Start by creating what I call the sacred pause. It's a simple moment you take before saying yes, before replying, before reacting. It's a breath, a reset, a reminder that you choose your pace, not the world. When your phone rings, when a message pings, when a feed tempts you to scroll, pause. Ask yourself, do I need this now, or am I just avoiding myself? That small pause is the gate that protects your peace. Balance is not about perfect control. It's about conscious presence. It's being fully here wherever you are. When you eat, taste your food. When you talk, listen. When you rest, rest. Let your mind learn that peace isn't found in escape. It's found in awareness. You don't have to delete your apps or move to the mountains to find balance. You just have to remember that you are not your devices. You are the awareness behind them. And when you remember that, you can step into the noise without being consumed by it. You can use technology without being used by it. The goal was never to disconnect completely. It was to reconnect to yourself, to your purpose, to the things that truly matter. That's balance. Not the absence of chaos, but the presence of calm within it. So, when life starts to move fast again, and it will, don't panic, don't chase. Return to your rhythm. Breathe. Choose presence. And remember, you are not behind. You are right on time. In the final chapter, we'll bring everything home, a reflection on what this journey truly means. How reclaiming your attention isn't just about productivity, but about freedom. Final chapter. The freedom of focus. Freedom isn't the absence of responsibility. It's the presence of awareness. It's not about escaping the world, it's about finally seeing it clearly. When you began this journey, you were surrounded by noise, 1,000 things, calling for your attention, pulling you in every direction but home. You didn't even realize how heavy it was to always be on, how exhausting it is to live half present, half scrolling through a world that never pauses. But now you know. Now you've felt what stillness tastes like. You've felt what focus feels like. That quiet hum of being fully here, of hearing your own thoughts without a screen telling you how to feel. And maybe, for the first time in a long time, you've realized something powerful. You were never truly distracted by the world. You were just disconnected from yourself. Focus is freedom. It's the art of choosing where your energy lives. It's the courage to say, I don't need to be everywhere. I just need to be here. When your mind is clear, you move differently. You speak with intention. You listen with your heart. And every action begins to carry purpose. That is the real reward of this journey. Not productivity, not more time, but peace. The kind that no amount of scrolling can give you. You see, the more focused you become, the freer you feel. Because focus isn't a cage, it's clarity. It's the quiet knowing that you can be in control of your time, your thoughts, your life. So as you step forward from here, don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be present. Don't try to escape the digital world. Use it with wisdom, not worship. Let your attention serve your purpose, not your impulses. Let your focus build your dreams, not feed your distractions. And whenever life gets loud again, as it will come back to what you've learned here, silence, awareness, stillness, presence. That's where your power lives. That's where you live. This isn't the end of your detox. It's the beginning of your freedom. Because a mind that can focus is a mind that can do anything. Welcome back to yourself. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to breathe and let it sink in. And if it did something deeper, if it reminded you of who you are beyond the noise, then I have one simple request. Subscribe to this channel, not for the algorithm, but for yourself. Because every story here is a seed, a quiet reminder to grow, to refocus, to rise above distraction and live with purpose. When you subscribe, you're choosing to stay close to the kind of energy that keeps you grounded, the kind that feeds your mind instead of draining it. And when you give this video a thumbs up or share it with someone you love, you're helping this message reach others who might be silently searching for the same peace you just found. Every like, every share helps this message travel further to the people who need it most. And it keeps us inspired to create more powerful audios like this, stories that speak not just to the mind, but to the soul. If you're ready to go deeper on this journey, I recommend listening next to 10 Habits That Will Rewire Your Mindset. It's a powerful companion to this audiobook, a guide to rewiring your thoughts and building the mindset that matches your focus. Together, these two messages will help you build a life of clarity, discipline, and peace. So, before you go, hit subscribe, tap the like button, and share this with one person who deserves a moment of stillness today. Because when we grow together, the world gets a little quieter and a lot more aware.